Hi guys, very good morning. I'm sharing my screen. Hope my voice is clear to all of you. I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So in the last class, we had a discussion on why test. Like we discussed about the system testing. See 28 batch, right? Yeah. So we had a discussion on system testing, and we took the end-to-end scenarios how it is going to work. And then we were about to discuss why test environment should be similar to the production environment. If it is not similar, what is going to happen? So that we will see the consequences now. So I'm connecting to the charger. Yes. Okay, so let me take a paint. Let us say a developer is developing an application and QA team is testing an application. And this is a production environment. Okay, so now developer is trying to build a software and it has got say login feature. So all the developers, let's say developer 1, developer 2, developer 3, developer 4, developer 5, they sit and do the development. So once the development is done, okay, so let's say login feature is ready, so they'll send a build to the testing team. Now testing team, they are receiving the build which is having a login feature. This is a software in that they're having a login feature. So now testing team, they'll start testing it. If they find any bug, they'll report it back to the development team. Again, development team, they'll fix the defect, and parallelly they'll try to develop one more feature. They'll try to develop one more feature and give it to the QA team. So again, QA team already they have old feature. Along with that, there are bugs are there, so they'll retest it, and then they got a new feature. They do the testing. So this process goes on. So then they find a bug, they'll throw it back. So like this, the software slowly it'll grow, and we will start doing a testing of all the features one by one, one by one. So same way, developer also does the development, and they give it to the QA team. Okay, and then so you have done 100% testing. Okay, you have tested more than, let's say, 100 builds. You have tested more than 100 builds. Okay, now the software is working fine. Okay, you have covered all the test scenarios. The moment I go and deploy this software into the production environment, the moment I go and deploy this software in the production environment, you tell me it is going to work or it will not work. This is dev, this is QA, and this is prod. So now whatever software you have tested here, you have deployed into the production environment. You tell me it should work or it should not work. Answer. Am I audible? Hello, hello, mic testing.
I think it should work, sir.
It should work. But 99% chances are there it will not work. Reason. Here, the hardware is manufactured by HP. Here, hardware is manufactured by, say, SanDisk. And here we have a storage of HP. Here we have a storage of Seagate. Here the configurations, like the softwares, whatever they are using, here you tested only in the web, but here we have a customers using a web application, mobile application, even TV app also they're using it. So configurations are not matching. configurations are not matching. For that reason, so we should make sure that test environment should be similar to the production environment. When I say test environment should be similar to the production environment, the hardware configuration should be similar. The software should be similar in the production environment and the database. For example, here I tested with a dummy data, but in real time, you never took any one real scenario data and you never tested it. So chances are that software may not work. So at least you should take any one real time scenario data and you should do the testing instead of testing dummy data. So data should be used to create or to do the testing. At least one or two should be similar so that we will make 99% chances are that application will work. If it is not similar, application we will not work. Okay, so that is the reason. Write down. Heading. Heading. Why test environment should be similar to the production environment. Why test environment should be similar to the production environment. Point number one. The hardware should be similar to the production. 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 Example, if the example, if the production server is HP, if the production server is HP, then test server should be also HP server. Then test server also should be HP server. Next, in that same point, maybe you can write point B. Example one, if the production server is HP, then test server also should be HP server. That is the point number one. Under the hardware should be similar. In sub point. First point is the hardware should be similar to the production environment. Under that, you have taken a sub point. Example, sub point one you've taken. Sub point two. The configurations must be similar. The configurations must be similar in the both the environments. 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 the both the environments. The configurations must be similar in both the environments, but with different capacities. But with the different capacities, because in test environment we don't need crores of data. In production we need crores of data. Customers will be there. So there we need a bigger storage, but in testing we need less storage. So that's the reason. The configurations must be similar in both the environments, but but different capacities. But different capacities. Okay. Next, point number one is over. Then main point number two. The softwares should be similar in both the environments. The softwares should be similar in both the environment. The softwares should be similar in both the environments. The software should be similar in both the environments. Under that sub point number A, operating system should be similar in both the environments. Operating system should be similar in both the environments, because here we are testing in Windows, but in production server, customers might be using a Linux or they might be using a Mac OS. So that's the reason. The system should be similar in both the environments. Next, the application server should be similar. The application server should be similar. Application server should be similar in both the environments. Then point number C. The web server should be similar in both the environments. The web server should be similar in both the environments. The web server should be similar in both the environments. Then point number D, the database server should be similar to the production environment. The database server should be similar to the production environment.
Sir, the database server should be that is fourth point, sir.
Yeah, like under second point, sub point, sub point
Third.
4.
Okay. Sir, okay, sir.
Under main second point, under that sub point 4.
Okay, sir.
The database server should be similar in both the environments.
Yes.
Then, then third point. The test data which we use for a testing, fourth point, sorry, main third point. The test data which we use for a testing, the test data which we use for testing the test data which we use for testing the test data which we use for testing should be similar to the production environment. Should be similar to the production environment. Okay, fine. Next, they'll ask you one more question. As soon as you get a new build, you want to test new features first or old features first. So look at here. Let's say initially I got a build one, only login feature was there. So here you got only login feature, you're doing a testing. Fine. Build one, you got B1. You tested, fine, you found a bug, you throw it back. Then second time you got build number 2. In that, login feature is there. Along with that, say register page is there, or maybe home page is there. So two features are there. So which is the new feature, which is the whole feature? This is login and this is a home page. So which is the new feature, which is the old feature?
Old feature is login page. New feature
Uh,
is
New feature is
home page. Home page.
home page. Perfect. So I will focus on testing the new feature first. Why? Because we never tested this. Probability of finding a bugs is more. We expect more number of bugs in the new feature than the old feature, because old feature you already tested, you found some bugs, you have given it for fixing the bugs, and you had already written the test cases. So I focus on, as soon as I get a new build, I will focus on testing the new features first, because probability of finding a bug is more. We expect more number of bugs in the new feature. And then I'll go back and test old feature. I don't say I'll not test old feature. I will test it. Once this new feature testing is completed, then I'll go back and I'll check the old feature. I will retest whether whatever the bugs I have raised, whether they have fixed it or not. And chances are they are developing a new feature. It would have introduced any of the new bugs in the old feature. So I'll test that. So I'll test the new feature. I'll test the integration between new feature and old feature, and I'll retest all the fixed bugs in the old feature, and I'll check, is there any new bugs have been introduced? Is anything broken? I'll check that. And remember, you have raised the bug and you should only do the testing. So each test engineer is responsible to test his bugs. You should not go and test, hey, my girlfriend is also working in my company, let me help her, I'm free, I don't have any work. If you go and do the testing for your girlfriend, okay, so she'll get a credit, you will not get a credit. She'll get a promotion, you will not get promotion. So each test engineer is responsible to test his bugs. which are fixed. You have raised the bug. Okay, now developer has fixed it. He has given a new build. So you should test new feature. Along with that, you should retest the bugs which you have raised and which is fixed by the developer. You should not test others bugs which are we should not you should not test other bugs found by other test engineers unless if they're not available. If they're on vacation, your manager will tell, go back and take those bugs and test it, then you pick it. Till then, no. Otherwise other people gets credit. Okay, write down heading. There's a question. As soon as you get a new build, you or we, anything, as soon as we get a new build, you can write either you or we, you can write anything. As soon as we get a new build or you get a new build, so you want to test new feature first or old feature first? Answer. Whenever a new build comes in, whenever a new build comes in, whenever new build comes in, testing team concentrate on testing team concentrate on testing the new features first. Testing team concentrate on testing the new features first. Because the probability of finding the bugs is more. Because the probability of finding the bugs is more. Come on. We expect more number of bugs in the new feature.
Can you repeat?
Yes, once again I'll repeat. Whenever a new build comes in, the testing team concentrate on testing the new features first. Testing team concentrate on testing the new features first. Because the probability of finding the bugs is more. The probability of finding the bugs is more. Put a comma. We expect more number of bugs in the new feature. We expect more number of bugs in the new feature. More number of bugs in the new feature. Under that, point number A. Point number A. We test the new features first. We test the new features first. Point number B. We do integration testing. We do integration testing. We do integration testing between old feature and new feature. We do integration testing between old feature and new feature. Next, point number C. We retest all the fixed defects in the old feature. We retest all the fixed defects in the old feature. We retest all the fixed defects in the old feature. Next, point number D. Test the unchanged old feature. 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 Test the unchanged old feature to make sure that is not broken. To make sure that is not broken.
So that is not.
Okay, once again I'll repeat. Test the unchanged features. Test the unchanged features to make sure that it is not broken. Make sure that it is not broken. Make sure that it is not broken. Because of the changes. To make sure it is not broken because of the changes. Okay, done. Next. Each test engineer, one more last point. Each test engineer is responsible for testing. Each test engineer is responsible for retesting only his bugs. Each test engineer is responsible for each test engineer is responsible for retesting only his bugs. Each test engineer is responsible for retesting only his bugs. Which are fixed. Only his bugs which are fixed. Come on. He is not responsible for testing the other bugs. He is not responsible for testing the other bugs. He is not responsible for testing the other bugs. He is not responsible for testing the other bugs. He is not responsible for testing the other bugs found by other test engineers.
So
Is
found by
he is not responsible for testing the other bugs found by other test engineers. Found by other test engineers. Okay. Okay. Next. Um, why we find new bugs in old feature, even though you have done a testing. Okay, see here you tested old feature login and you found a bug and you reported. And meanwhile, they are fixing on bug on the login feature and they are developing new feature homepage. So they gave a build two. So you got build two. So you started testing homepage, that is a new feature, that's fine. And again, you'll go back and retest in the login page whatever bugs you have raised, whether they're fixed or not. But along with that, you will also find some new bugs. Why we get that? Because you already done a testing, but still you find some bugs. Reason is okay, so chances are there fixing of the old bug, it might introduce another new bug in the old feature. Fixing of a bug, it might leads to introduce another bug, or adding this new feature homepage, it would have introduced the bug in the old feature, or we developer might have missed this feature implementation earlier. Now you found that bug, developer you would have missed it earlier, or you would have missed it in an earlier test cycle, you are not tested properly, now you are testing it, you got a bug. So this could be the reason. Right on. Why we find new bugs in the old feature. Why we find new bugs in the old feature. New bugs in the old feature. Point number one, fixing of a bug. Fixing of a bug. Wait. Chances are there. Answer. Point number one. Chances are there. Chances are there. Fixing of a bugs. Chances are there. Fixing of a bugs in the old feature. Chances are there. Fixing of a bugs in the old feature. Chances are there. Fixing of a bugs in the old feature. Chances are there. Fixing of a bugs in the old feature. Chances are there. Fixing of a bugs in the old feature. It might introduce other bugs. It might introduce other bugs. Next point. Second point. So wait, the first point is fixing a bug. It will introduce the bugs in the old feature. Second point, adding a new feature. Adding a new feature, it might introduce the bug. Adding a new feature, it might introduce the bug in the old feature. It might introduce the bug in the old feature. Point number C.
So can you repeat second point?
Yes, adding a new feature. Adding a new feature, it might introduce the bug in the old feature. Adding a new feature, it might introduce the bug in the old feature. Adding a new feature, it might introduce the bug in the old feature. Okay, next point. We might have missed it. Third point, we might have missed it in the earlier test cycle. We might have missed it in the earlier test cycle. We might have missed it in the earlier test cycle. We might have missed it in the earlier test cycle. Okay, fine. Next, very important question. When we start system testing, actually, when are we going to do that? And then when we say product is ready for release. So when we start system testing, see, actually, when we have a minimum bunch of features, you tell me if I want to go and order the product in, say, baby's world, some application is there, let's say, or first cry. Okay, I want to order diaper for my baby. Okay, let's go here. Okay, if I want to order, only login page is enough. If I have only login page, will I be able to order?
No, sir.
Or if I have only a cart page, will I be able to order? On login and cart page, will I be able to order successfully? Answer, I want you to speak. Don't sit like a dumb fellows. If I have only login feature, if I have only cart feature, these two features, will I be able to order the product?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
No. What are the minimum bunch of features are required to order? Common sense. Which are all the features you will use it to order?
One is a home page.
Your home page, then login, then
Login.
Then the product page,
which one?
product page,
Product listing page, product
Right.
details page,
search bar,
okay, search box,
Cart and track
cart,
order.
cart, then address fee page,
Order
page,
page.
payment,
Method.
payment.
payment page.
Order.
At least some 6-7 bunch of features are ready. Then only you can do end-to-end testing. Till then, you cannot do end-to-end business flow testing, right? So that is what I'm trying to convey here. When we start, so when a minimum number of or minimum bunch of features are ready, then we start system testing. When basic functionality of all the features are working fine. Basic functionality means that functional and integration data flow or this functional component testing, bunch of features are ready, functionalities are working fine, then we do end-to-end testing. When test environment is similar to the production environment, then we start system testing. When we say product is ready for release, when all the features requested by the customers are ready, we are going to say yes, we can release. When all the functional integration and end-to-end scenarios are working fine in the software, we say yeah, we are ready to release. When there is no critical bugs means, look at here, when I click here, when I click on login, I'll get a 500 error or blank page I'll get. That is called critical bug. Okay, when I go to the home page, if I click on say diapering, I'll get blank page or 500 error. That is called critical bug. So when there is no critical bugs in the application, that time we release. And when there are bugs are there, but which are minor or which are less number of bugs and there is no business impact with that. Let's say you tell me in your lifetime, okay, have you ever gone to the last page of this website, any of the e-commerce website, last page of the e-commerce website? I'm just going down. I'll do one thing. I'll better come first and then I'll scroll down. Okay. In your lifetime, have you gone to this terms of use? Have you read this? Anyone?
No, sir.
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
There is a spelling mistake here. Oh, there is a spelling mistake in this page. I will not order the product. Is anybody done like that?
No, sir.
No,
All right.
sir.
In your lifetime, nobody would have read that. So, yes, there is a spelling mistake here. This is called minor bugs. We call it as minor bugs. Yes, there is a spelling mistake. Fine. We have to fix it. Being a QA team, yeah, you have to find it, and developers, they have to fix it. But customer doesn't know this. Unless some of the customers are very keen towards the terms of use. Okay. So that time, okay, so bugs are there, but which are minor, there is no business impact. Because of this, spelling mistake, will you stop ordering product?
No, sir.
No,
No,
sir.
No,
sir.
right?
No,
You'll order,
sir.
right?
Will
So there is
order.
no business impact. So such kind of a minor bugs will be there, but still we'll release it. And by the time we would have met the deadline which is given by the customer, so we release it. So this is about when we say product is ready to be released. Take down answer. When we start system testing, heading. Sorry. Yeah. When we start system testing. Point number 8. When minimum number of features are ready, when minimum number of features are ready, when minimum number of features are ready, when minimum features are ready, when minimum number of features are ready, when minimum number of features are ready, minimum number of features are ready, we start with system testing. Start with system testing. Point number B. When the basic functionality of all the modules must be working, The basic functionality of all the modules must be working. And the basic functionality of all the modules must be working. Second point, that is. And the basic functionality of all the modules working fine. Next point, point number C. When test environment and test environment should be similar to the production environment. When test environment should be similar to the production environment. When test environment should be similar to the production environment. That time we start system testing. Okay, that's all about when we start system testing. Next, when we say product is ready for release, when we say the product is ready for release, when we say product is ready for release, under that point number 1, when all the features requested by customers, when all the features requested by customer are ready, when all the features requested by customer are ready, when all the features requested by customer are ready, when all the features requested by customer are ready. Next point. Point B, when all the functional, comma, integration, when all the functional, comma, integration, when all the functional, comma, integration and end-to-end scenarios are working fine. When all the functional, comma, integration, when all the functional, comma, integration and end-to-end scenarios are working fine. Next, third point. When there is no critical bugs, when there is no critical bugs in the application, when there is no critical bugs in the application, when there is no critical bugs in the application. Point number D. Point number D. Bugs are there, bugs are there, bugs are there, which are bugs are there which are minor, which are minor, and there is no business impact. Bugs are there which are minor and there is no business impact. Bugs are there which are minor and there is no business impact. Next, last point. By the time, fifth point, by the time we would have met the deadline, by the time we would have met the deadline, by the time we would have met the deadline or a release date, by the time we would have met the deadline or a release date, by the time we would have met the deadline or release date, by the time we would have met the deadline or release date, which is very near, which is very near. Next important question. What is release? They'll ask you in the interview. What is release? L-E-A-S, sorry. R-E-L-E-A-S. What do you mean by release? Starting from, we collect the requirements from the customer, right? Till we deliver the software to the customer. In between, we do the designing, like UI UX team, they do the designing, and development team, they do the development. Testing team, we do the testing. We find a bug, we will report it to the developer. They'll refix it, and then at the last we will build the software and deliver it to the customer. This entire process we call it as a release. This entire process we call it as a release. Write down heading. What is release? What is release? So these are all very important from the interview point of view. Definitely they're going to ask you these questions. What is release, or what do you mean by release? The end. What do you mean by release? Answer. The time period starting from collecting the requirements, the time period the time period starting from collecting the requirements, 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 starting from collecting the requirements, till we deliver the software, the time period starting from collecting the requirements till we deliver the software to the customer, till we deliver the software to the customer, till we deliver the software to the customer is called, till we deliver the software to the customer is called release, is called is called release. Okay, what you have written, can anyone read it?
The time period starting from collecting the requirements till we deliver the software to the customer is called release.
Is called release. Okay, in between in between in between in between in between we in between we do the activities like in between we does the activities in between we does the activities like in between we does the activities like creating the design, creating the design, creating the design, comma, developing the software, 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 comma, testing the software, Testing the software. Testing the software. Come on. Finding the bugs. Finding the bugs. Finding the bugs. Finding the bugs. And fixing the bugs. Fixing the bugs. Fixing the bugs. All these activities takes place. All these activities takes place. All these activities takes place. Okay. Next, we'll discuss about the build. Discuss about the build. What do you mean by build? I was using the word build, build, build. Build is nothing but it's a piece of a software. Let me take a new diagram. Let's say a developer is doing a development. Okay. And he's going to write a code. Let's say this is a software. In that he's trying to build a login page. For that login page, he would have written the code. Developer has written the code. Let's say developer Dinga 1, developer Dinga 2, and developer Dinga 3. So these guys are doing a development. Okay, they have written the code. So, okay, this code, like they do the compiling, they run everything, it's working fine in the dev server, in the development server, dev environment. And then they send this build to the QA environment, or they will install it in the testing environment. They're going to install it in the testing environment. When they install, you will not get the code. You will get it because they say a testing server, let's say test environment. Let's say dev environment, we will have like this URL. HTTP /dev dot qacircle.com. This is dev environment. So this is how it looks in the front end. When they open it, they check whether it is working fine or not. They push the code in the back end and they'll make sure it looks properly or not. Okay, if you see the code, right click, inspect. If I go here, see they have written, this is front end. Whatever you're seeing, HTML, JavaScript, they have written. This is front end. Whatever you see here, JavaScript they have used, JavaScript and CSS. Okay, if you really want to check the source, you can see here. You can see here. This is a HTTP firstcry.com. Under that, okay, so there are so many accounts.google, CDNA server is there, content delivery network, CDNA server is there, and through Facebook also ads will be running, Google Analytics, you see, Google Tag Services. There are so many things are there in the backend. Okay, and you will not have we will not have an access. This is a live environment. This is a live environment. Whatever code they push it in the back end, so you will see the UI only like this. You're going to see the UI like this. I'll come back here. So test environment. So you will see the URL like, let's see, https://qa.qacircle.com. You will see the URL like this, and you will start doing a testing. So once they say, hey, build is ready, so they'll send a build one, B1. Build one means they say this login feature is ready. When you open it, you'll see, okay, when you open this URL, you'll see login feature is developed. You'll go and do the testing, and you'll get to build two. Hey, at like card feature is ready. When you open the URL, same URL only, you just have to refresh. You'll see the login feature. You'll see the login feature. Along with that, oh, card page is added. Like this, they're not going to change any URL. When they say new build, means they would have updated some of the features. That is what you have to go back and do the testing. That is what you have to go back and do the testing. Class ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಒಂದು 10 ನಿಮಿಷ. Class ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೀನಿ. So that is what you need to go back and do the testing. So build is nothing but it's a piece of a software. Build is nothing but it's a piece of a software which is developed by the developer and which is copied and deployed in the testing server or installed in the testing server where test engineers they'll go and do the testing. This is called build. This is called build. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ? Build ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಂತ? Clear?
Sir.
Doubts ಇದೆಯಾ ಏನು? 7:39. I hope you're not sleeping. ಎದ್ದಿದ್ರಾ? Hello, am I
Yes, sir.
audible? Okay. Write down heading. Build. Build is nothing but it's a piece of a software. It's a piece of a software. It's a piece of a software. The piece of a software. Which piece of a software? It's a piece of a software. Which is developed by the developer. Which is developed by the developer. Developed by the developer. Which is developed by the developer. Which is developed by the developer. Deployed in the testing server. Deployed in the testing server. Deployed in the testing server. Where test engineers will go and test the software. Where test engineers they'll go and test the software. It will be deployed in the testing. Can anyone read once again what you have written? Just want to check.
It is a piece of software which is developed by the developer, deployed in the testing server where test engineers will go and test the software.
Okay, where test engineers they'll go and test the software or build.
Software.
Where test engineer they'll go and test the build.
Okay.
Test engineer they'll go and test the build. Test engineer they'll go and test the build. Test engineer they'll go and test the build. Example, take down this diagram.
Sir, build means part of a feature, right, sir?
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Like they would have made some modifications. Build is nothing but a piece of software developer has developed it. So it might be addition of a new feature or deletion of a old feature. So they will push it to the testing environment. When you open it, you will see those changes.
Okay, sir.
Artha
Thank
aita?
you. Ha, sir.
Okay.
Completed.
Completed. Okay. Next, who is going to release the software? Who is going to release the software in different environments? What is respin? What is patch? What is release engineer? What is the role? What is the role of release engineer? Discuss these points now. So who is going to release the software in a different environment? So when I say different environment, so it might be a dev environment, like from dev to QA environment, or from QA to UAT environment, or UAT to the production environment. So who will take care of that? See, if the company is small, software developer only will take care. If the startup, maybe some 4 or 5 engineers are working in the same project. 4 developers or 3 developers are there, 1 QA is there. So senior person who has started a company, he'll be knowing it. So he will only take care of deploying in the different environment. If the company is small company or startups. Second point, sometimes even QA engineers, they'll guide. If a company is very small, they'll guide QA engineer how to do the deployment. The company is small, okay, they're going to guide how you should do the deployment after doing the development from the developer side. QA engineers will be there. If the company is big or they have good funding, there will be a separate team called a DevOps team. DevOps team. So there we call it as SRE, Site Reliability Engineer. Site Reliability Engineer or Release Engineer. So they will take care of releasing the software. I have written here, right? What is the role of release engineer? I'll write here. They will take care of releasing the software to the different environment. So whatever developer has developed the code, okay, so tomorrow is a release or day after tomorrow is a release. Today they do the code freeze, means nobody should push the code changes to the new to the GitHub. Okay, for example, day after tomorrow we want to release. QA team, they have done all the testing. That's fine. Now, developer, they should not push any new changes to the code, whatever it is already there. They'll say, hey, I have one feature which is ready for testing. I want to merge. If QA team gives approval, then only they should merge. Otherwise, they should not merge. Because we do, if QA team don't have a bandwidth to do the testing, developer should not merge the code. If testing team, they are not giving approval, no, we don't have a time to test it, so don't push any changes, any code changes now. So we will take it in the next sprint. Then whatever code they have already was there changes, testing team, they would have done a testing properly in the UI side, so that code will be deployed in the production environment. That is taken care by release engineer. Similarly for QA engineers or software developers, depends on the company to company. This is a mid-size company who have a good funding, mid-size or large MNCs. Large scale companies will be taken care. Right on. Who's going to release the software in a different environments? So these fellows will be there. Depends on the company to company. In my company, yes, there is a separate DevOps team is there. They are taking care. When I was in the sales in the beginning, right, I used to interact with the customers. I used to give a test engineers to the different companies. There, I have seen some startups. Their QA teams only they used to do the deployment. Even software developers only they used to do the deployment. So it's all depends on when you have vitamin M, they'll play with that. When they don't have vitamin M, or whether when they don't have a proper funding, so they have to take care of their own deployment. When they have a good money, yes, there'll be a separate team. They'll hire, they'll pay, and they'll keep them in the work. Write down this.
So do we have to take this? What is the role of release engineer also?
Yes, write down, write down. Separate question I'll answer. What is the role of release engineer? He'll be taking care of entire deployment. He'll be taking care of entire deployment. He'll be taking care of entire deployment. He will be taking care of entire deployments in the different environments. In the different environments. Done?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's stop it now. So tomorrow we'll discuss about what is respin, what is patch, and then what kind of software we will be testing, what kind of uh, applications QA team will be testing, and then we will have a software architectures. There are different software architectures we're going to discuss, and then we'll move on to the different types of testing like smoke testing, regression, ad hoc testing, all these things. So if these concepts are clear, then we can go ahead with the testing. Fine, I'll stop it now. Let me stop the recording.